Hey kids, Inverted Cow here. Welcome back to Empyrion. We're on still on next on the version 6. And I decided to change my mind from what I said I was going to do last episode. I'll show you why here. Let me just find the button to get out of drone mode. Okay. Last episode I said I was going to fix up the small vessel or rebuild the small vessel so I actually had a small fighting ship. But I've been trying to deal with the lack of food issue. Now I can go hunting, I can get meat, no problem. But the problem is, of course, is actually doing anything with it. So I'm making, sausages all the time, but my fridges are always staying empty. I can keep making sausages, but my fridge stays empty. What I want is to make these emergency rations, because one of these, no matter how empty you are, one of these is full food. So you could be starving, you eat one of these, you're full food. Now, they're very easy to build. You just need plastic raw material, which comes from corn and rock dust. Okay, so corn and rock. That's not hard. I got stone, I got corn. And I'll show you how I'm getting these now. Ham, I'm missing the energy pills, I know. Ham, bread, space durins, pear things, plant fibers, rock dust, and purified water. Well, rock dust is easy, purified water is easy, bread is easy. That's just simply wheat ground into flour, if I can find bread on here. Oh, I hate the tab over sometimes, I really do. There it is, bread, flour, and purified water, so it's basically water and wheat. Flour is just basically wheat. Plant fibers, that's easy. But the big issue is the energy pills. Now, energy pills in themselves are not that big of a deal. They're just eggplant parts and magnesium powder. The drawback is, of course, there is no eggplant parts on this planet. They simply do not grow here. I'm not going to fly to another planet to get the eggplant parts. Now, there is one other way that I know of to get energy pills, and that comes from killing Xirax. So, how do I get energy pills from Xirax? Well, I'm going to go back to the old tried and true Minecraft tricks of trying to make a mob grinder. I have a few ideas in my head of what might work, what might not work, but essentially a mob grinder is you have a spot where mobs spawn, and yes, I put some decorative plants in here. You have a spot where mobs spawn, you track the mobs to an area where they can be collected, and you kill them. So that's pretty simple. I told you I was going to build a greenhouse. I didn't do it on camera. I'm really sorry, but I got building on it, and before I realized that I had built the whole building. So I'll show you the greenhouse real quick here. And yeah, I can't build these on a capital vessel. The plants just die. I'm not the only one having that problem. A lot of people are. Keeping with the same design that I had for the whole thing, I've got these nice arched ceilings. I've got little domes on top. I'm going with this structure because this is supposed to be a high gravity planet, and a dome has more strength than a point. So it would strictly be what I would have on what I would expect to see on a planet with high gravity is domed structures. I have put probably more than I ever will need, but I made these little ventilator towers. Basically, it's just a couple of steel pipes with a ventilator stuck on top. I threw a light on the sides of each of them, so I've got lots of light. The grow lights, if you put them on the side of the ventilator, they won't produce enough light far enough down. The best place for a grower light, of course, is directly over the center square on a 3x3 pad. You can put them on the pillar, but because these are windows and walls, you can't place them on the window or the wall, because it considers this whole area as a full block. So in fact, I can't put anything really closer than this garden plot. And yes, believe it or not, they did not die on like they were doing for me before. So now I actually do have a garden that produces, right now it produces very sporadically because all the plants are still coming into production. But space durans were the last ingredient on my list. I do have oranges and aloe vera. I'm growing some fibers. I've planted a couple more oranges. The reason for the oranges is this is a high heat planet. Space oranges help drop body temperature just that little tiny bit, which is helpful if you're running around outside or something like that. But the space durans is the last ingredient I need. Throw those in there for now to make any of these emergency rations. So I'm going to order a bunch of these. I've only got a few meat. I'm not worried about that. And I've only got a few of the energy pills. So I'm going to make up whatever I can of these. I'll let this run. And while it's doing its thing, I will continue getting the material I need to take out a POI. I want to try to destroy it without damaging the actual POI itself. So if I go in with a tank, I can't use the artillery cannons and just let them blast away, because the tracking on these stupid things won't target just a gun turret. It will target the little sentry turrets on the inside of the structure, and it will just blast a hole through the side of the building, and I really want to do minimum damage to it as I possibly can. So I'm going to let these cook, and I will be back to go and take out the POI in. Go away, kids. We'll be right back. Okay, kids, we are back. Over this rise at 300 meters away is the Rados oxygen depot. I'm going to attempt to take this out without destroying this station. I have my defensive turrets on. There is one minigun turret that is set to attack predators, one that's set to attack anything. Two plasmas are set to attack any space vessels or drones or anything that too nosy. So there, try that. There we go. As you can see, we're not perfectly level, but we're going to work with it. So I'm going to attempt, and I'm going to say attempt, to take out the gun turrets on that oxygen depot using a sniper's rifle. So this could be a little bit fun, a little bit tricky, a lot of annoying, probably going to have a few more deaths added to my overall inventory. So I will be back. If I am successful, I will be back shortly. If not, I will be back as soon as I get the gun turrets knocked off on that depot. So don't go away, kids. We'll be right back. Okay, kids, I have taken out all the surface guns on this oxygen depot. I'm going to attempt to get back to the scavenger tank, and then I'm going to fly over there and start working on the next part of the mob grinder. That is, I need to secure the outer area and start building. I will be back as soon as I get over there and get everything established, and I'll start building, figure out where I'm going to lay out and whatnot. I have to make sure I turn all my gun turrets off. Oops. Jetpack on, please. Come on, in we go. There we go. Have to make sure I turn all my gun turrets off now so that they are not attacking turrets or mounted weapons. The reason for that is they will attempt to shoot through the building and destroy anything inside there. I don't want them shooting cores. I don't want them shooting anything. I'm leaving thrusters targeted just in case I have any drone activity. I've still only got one minigun turret set to attack Predator, just to basically keep any overseers and such off my back, because yeah, they're annoying. So I will be right back after we have gotten ourselves a little bit more established. Okay kids, I have secured the entrance to the base. There was a gun turret actually left on either of these two pedestals, but it was very easy to park just around the corner and snipe them off without any issues whatsoever. I have then used the ship's drills, the undermounted mining turrets that I have on the ship, to dig a trench away from that entrance and angled off to the side. I've leveled it a little bit with the hand drill through the drone to try and get rid of any really nasty spots that will catch anything. The object, of course, is to eventually come in here and expose this entrance to the hostiles that you can hear inside the base. Essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot my way in. I'm going to take out some of the internal stuff. I'll probably even attempt to loot the POI at some point, but I want to have it so that the hostiles, which are moving around, you can hear them tracking inside the base. I want to have it so that they will attempt to come out and get me by literally going through this trench and dying right here, and I will be camped as close to the base as I can, because there is a limit on how close you can build, but if I am correct, this is the edge of the base barrier where this depression is. So what I'll do is I will build literally a camp spot right here that there is no direct access. I will basically pillar up, make it so that it is on a pillar, it's straight vertical, and any hostile that comes out will attempt to track into here to get to me. The computer will say you can come up here, and then I'll have some stationary turrets parked in this little alcove, and do you mind? I'll have some stationary turrets parked in this alcove, and basically they'll come around this corner and die, and literally I can use the drone to scoop their corpses out of the pit. That's the plan anyway. So how efficient we can do it, I don't know. It all depends on how close I can build a base starter block. So that's my next step in this process. So I'm going to lay that out, and I'll be back to show you how I am progressing, and then we will take out this POI, leaving the core and spawners intact, and start generating some mobs. So don't go away kids, we'll be right back. Okay kids, we are back, and it is mostly done. I'm going to flip to drone mode so that you can see this, but there we go, drone mode. It allowed me to place a core right here, which from the base is very, very close. It's right where that trench was. And then it actually allowed me to build a walkway right up to the entrance to the base. Now, of course, I'm not perfectly aligned by any stretch of the imagination, so I just basically ran it square. I then ramped it down into the bottom of the pit. You come around the corner, and there is 4 player sentry guns right here. So basically, you come around that corner, those guns are going to shoot you. This is all ground behind here, so even if the guns blow holes into the terrain, I'm not overly concerned that it's going to damage anything. It's basically, it can shoot and hurt the earth all at once. I built a structure to stand in. I put an AFK, or what do you call it, offline protection on here with a single exterior turret, just in case anything comes flying around here that I don't want to deal with. I've got 2 tier 2 refrigerators in here because I know Xirax drop lots of canned veg. Why you have to put cans in a refrigerator, I don't never know. Oxygen generator, medical station, oxygen tank, large ammo box, large fuel tank, small generator, 2 cargo boxes, and then I have an upstairs area, which basically it's just basically an upstairs area. It has no details or nothing to it. It's just a spot. I'm not sure how far their tracking will be, but the idea is essentially I go into this structure. It will be turned on, powered up, and all that kind of stuff. And the hostiles will track from inside this base and attempt to come and attack me, which means they have to come in here. Now the only problem is, of course, as soon as I go into this base, I am going to have a hard time getting out. It's not designed to be easily accessible, so I'm probably going to have to do is actually do all of my combat from the top, which means I'm going to take out that one spawn pad on the top only. Use the elevator to go down, knock out some of the things on the inside of the base, and try and fight my way to this door, is what I'm going to basically try to do. Because what I want to do is have it so that, yeah, I can still go into the base, but the enemy has to come to me. The problem is right now is I'm about to die because I am out of food. I haven't had any hostiles around. The gun turrets have stopped shooting quite some time ago. I haven't had another creature come around, and I'm about to run out of all food in my inventory, I believe. If I'm lucky, I have one left. Totally out of all food. Did I turn this off, or did I run out of fuel? I ran out of fuel. Okay, the hover vessel has completely ran out of fuel as well, so I'm out of fuel and I'm out of food. So we'll fuel this thing up. Throw some oxygen in this tank. And we'll throw 3 units of power in there. We will load up all the ammunition, and you'll excuse me while I do all the configuration while my guy dies. But devices, we're going to just quickly give it an auto group, and we will access turret. These we will attack. No cores, no turrets, no mounted weapons, no generators. So as soon as I turn this thing on, it would start opening fire on these bases. I only want to kill other factions, which I believe is the Xirax, Alien, and Predators. I'm not even going to worry about prey, although I'm sure that if any prey come around this area, I would probably shoot them as well. Yes, I know you're dying, thank you. Okay, so that should be all the turrets now set. My next task, after I respawn here, my next task is going to be to actually take out that, or to start attacking that POI. So, I will be right back after I have reset my character, or after I've died, and I will begin the assault on the POI, and see if I can get some doors opened. So don't go away, kids. We'll be back to see if we can get this mob grinder functional. Hey kids, we're back, and we have sort of done it. Got a problem. These guys only come as far as this block, and then they refuse to walk further forward. I was kind of hoping that they would continue to path down this hallway to try to get to me, but they just sit here. They don't mind coming to that corner. But I've opened up this base. I have 3 spawners still intact. Excuse me, move please. There's one here in that corner, and one here. I thought there was 3 spawners. I could be wrong. It could only be 2 spawners intact. This isn't exactly a large base. My concern is, of course, is the core is right behind that glass. So I mean, if you really want to blow this base, you just come straight through that hallway and shoot the core. There's an empty room here that does no purpose whatsoever. It just is a room. But like I said, these guys won't come down this hallway, so I'm thinking what I might do is put one turret here and have it back so that it shoots basically anything on that staircase, and we'll use the other turrets someplace else. Oops. Of course, when I place the turret, I have to immediately make sure that I turn off the base before I put the turret in. Place the turret. Set the base. Access this turret. Deactivate all things that I don't want it to shoot. Add it to the turrets group. Go back to main. Turn the power back on. Now that turret should start shooting at any Xirax that comes down this hallway. Only at any Xirax that comes down this hallway. Unfortunately, in the process of taking this base, on one of the multiple deaths I had going down the elevator from the top, which the elevator is right here, by the way, it caused my backpack to glitch through the floor or wall or ceiling or someplace, and I lost all of my quality weapons, like all my epics that I had. Essentially I lost an epic sniper, epic shotgun, and epic assault rifle. Also lost a tier 2 multi-tool and a bunch of random other stuff, as well as all the loot from one of these yellow barrels on the upper floor. So that really is kind of depressing. However, it's not the end of all things. As you can see, the single turret will do the trick. And will drop Xirax all over the place. And you literally just sit there and collect loot. So for the trade-off for the epic weapons to infinite Xirax farm, I'm going to say that's not a bad trade-off. I would have preferred not to lose the weapons at all, but yeah, that's okay. It also has the nasty habit of allowing me to shoot the occasional, what do you call it that comes walking over the mountainside here? Spider or overseer or whatever that comes over the mountainside will get shot by this turn, which also gives me a little bit of extra meat, which I need for the actual point of this whole project, to make the survival food packs. So there we have it, kids. This is the Xirax farm, item farm. I'm going to camp here for a while, collect some stuff, get my stuff together, and let things just sit. So thanks all for watching, and good night for now.